see a team lose or see your team beat a team, as long as everybody's 100% and healthy. So not having those guys in there, or a guy like J.J. Watt, a name like that, definitely hurts the league. And then the Redskins, man, we don't have to go back in a whole bunch of detail, but I'm just hoping that we look like we might get a Haskins start this week against Buffalo. So, I think we're at the point now, he's came in 2 games in the second half, and, he's came in and he's played, and, we've seen some things in there that shows you he's a young guy and got things to work on, maybe a couple throws he wish he could have back. But I just think going into a week to prepare, or at least being able to start that game, I think that's the best thing for him. So I think this weekend would be a good thing to do. I hope it's going to happen. I think they're going to make an announcement tomorrow who the starter is. Case Keenum, concussion protocol. We'll see where he's at. But I think either way, no matter where Keenum's at, I think it's probably the right time to start Haskins. Buffalo defense is going to be tough. You may be able to run on them a little more. It might be a little easier to run on them than pass, but I think this should be a good week to start Haskins.
Yeah, that's why I see what the kid has. I'm just tired of him not getting a fair shake. I'm tired of us naming Tom, Dick, and Harry as a starter, and then after we get blown out or we're down by a lot and we lose a couple of linemen, hey, Haskins, go out there. And then it's all, he can't read defenses. Oh, look at that bad throw. Dude, we're not setting the kid up for success. I want him named a starter. I want a week of reps with the ones, then go out in the field. And even if he goes out in the field, it's horrible. It's one game. It's going to take more than one game for him to get good. Not everybody is Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody is Russell Wilson. Some people it takes a little bit longer than them to become good. Maybe Haskins becomes a starter. Maybe he has 2 really bad starts, and then he ends the year on fire. You never know. But I just think this whole, we're going to start this person, and then, we're down by 20. Hey, Dwayne, get out there. Oh, man, you couldn't bring us back. What happened? For me personally, as a Redskin fan and a football fan, I'm over that. Let's set the kid up for success. Let's give him a shot, and let's see what we got. So if the draft comes and if he's not what we're looking for and we got to go a different direction, we know.
Yeah, but even that, I've heard people say that too about, 1 year, I don't think we give up on him on 1 year either way either. A lot of people are saying, see what you got. Maybe you turn around and draft another quarterback. We want to talk about giving him a fair shot, let him develop. I think that's too quick too. Gruden's out of there. You got O'Connell. It'll probably be back, but then again, you never know. It's all going to depend on who the head coach is. I just think if we're talking fair shot, you got to give him a little more than that. Give him an opportunity to go into camp as your starter. Give him an opportunity to be able to build something, to be able to get comfortable, to have somebody that actually truly believes in him that's going to work with him. So get him out there and play. I'm not worried about the Facebook critics or Twitter critics that are going to comment after every throw. Don't care about that. Let them get out there. Let them make some plays. Let them make some mistakes. Let them try to learn from it and build. Like you said, everybody's not going to jump out there from day one. He's not he's not thrown into a situation that Ben Roethlisberger had.
Yeah.
Exactly. You had a running game, you had a line, you had a defense. You didn't have as much pressure on you to make plays. We know some things aren't going to go well out there, but get them out there and let them play.
Yeah, and this is hard for me to say because Pat, I tell you all the time, you know me for a long time. I'm a diehard Michigan fan, but the Ohio State Buckeyes have been busting people's asses in the Big Ten for like the last, 6-7 years. They're not recruiting bums. And I understand that you're supposed to stand behind your guy and you're the guy's coach, but Urban Meyer wouldn't have recruited Dwayne Haskins if he couldn't play. And with Urban Meyer saying multiple occasions that he can read defenses, he's a quick learner, he checks all the boxes. I really don't think that's smoke. That the kid really can't do those things. You just got to set him for success. It can't be down 17-0 on the road. We just lost our starting guard. Hey, next time we get the ball, you're in. It's got to be you're the starter, first team reps, go out there and play. Hey, you sucked? Okay, great. We're going to do it again next week. It's got to give the guy the proper opportunity and the proper tools also, i.e. players, to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And to talk quarterbacks, man, how about your boy Baker Mayfield?
Oh, yeah.
How about
I knew we were
how
going
about
to
old
go
Baker?
without that one. Go ahead. What do you think about Lucas Baker? I was like, there's no way Pat let that slide.
Yeah. Man, you know how I felt about Mayfield, and a lot of the antics. In this one situation, though, man, it's gonna sound a little crazy. I might give him a little bit of a pass in this situation from what I've seen with the interview. Now, I know when you talk stuff and when you're out there and you walk around with your chest out, you put the target on yourself. You play well, okay, they're going to say, all right, you did it. If you don't play well, there's going to be a lot of people waiting there to say, ah. But, in the situation that I've seen with the interview, if you're going to ask a man a question, give him a second to answer. And, it sounds like one of the reporters was trying to cut him off and throw in stuff. So I think Baker's already dealing with the fact that they aren't playing well. But I think to have someone continuously do that, that's like somebody asking you a question, and before you can answer, they're on to the next question, or they're trying to cut you off. So a part of me wants to give him a pass on that part, because I think that would be frustrating for anybody. Sure. But it just goes back to what we were talking about before, and that's just the hype. Everything sounded good. When you only got 2 wins at this point in the season, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people lined up to kind of, take some shots at you.
Yeah, of course. High expectations for that Cleveland Browns team. And I tweeted out something earlier this week that just the body language, he hasn't said a lot, but the body language I'm starting to see more and more on the sidelines from Odell is very New York Giant-ish to me. He hasn't blown up. We're not kicking goal stands and having to hit us back in the face. But I'm seeing a lot of New York Giant-esque behavior from him more and more as the losing piles on and just the criticism of the team piles on. And I also wonder, is the coach just in over his head? Is Freddie Kitchen letting the inmates run the asylum type of deal? I wonder. Because you got to remember, and I'm not saying that he's not talented, but it's very rare. I'd almost like to hear somebody tell me when it's happened before, for a guy to go from running back coach to the head coach of a team as quickly as he did. So I wonder if maybe it's just all too much for him.
It might be. Maybe it is. But like you said, man, when you're not winning, when you're losing games, it's easy to have a lot of these conversations that, they're always typical. When you are losing, when you aren't playing well, the quarterback, the coach is going to take the heat. They turn it around, maybe not. Maybe stuff will change, but everything comes down to wins or losses. Odell part, I do give him credit for trying to help his QB. I mean, he came out and said it's not all on him. He has to take ownership and blame too. So I think that is a good thing. But keep losing games when you got guys like that have a lot of pride. They have a lot of confidence in themselves, and made a lot of comments. You are going to get some feelings. You are going to get some emotion that, that's going to come back.
Yeah, nah, for sure. We'll have to see. That's going to be one of those teams at the end of the season. If they don't turn things around, people start doing the most disappointed list. The Bengals are going to be pretty high up on that list. And speaking of disappointing, I know you saw it last night. We got a little NBA talk in. I know the season's really, really fresh, but I know you saw the Karl-Anthony Towns versus Joel Embiid little scuffle last night. You got Ben Simmons with the WWE headlock. Come to find out today, Cat and Embiid suspended 2 games and a fine, I believe, and Ben Simmons gets off scot-free. What were your thoughts on the little wrestling match we had last night?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy, man. I mean, first thing was kind of like laughed a little bit and trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. Like you said, I was watching the baseball game, so between commercials or maybe checking something on the iPad real quick, I was trying to keep up with some things. So it was wild, man. Just kind of the pictures, like you said, Ben Simmons ahead, had him with the chokehold on top of him, looked like Cat was tapping out, and Joel he doing another wrestling move, and he was put his thumb stuck in Cat's eye. So figured there'd be some suspensions. Looked like we had two games apiece, was it, for the guys?
Yep.
Yeah, I just can't wait for the next time these guys play each other. I think that's going to be interesting. And then, like clockwork, the guys are on. I see the guys had a couple Instagram posts, kind of talking stuff. So we'll see how far that goes. The only thing I've always thought is if you're going to have that incident, and then it's possible they're reviewing it for suspension. I think I would have took the approach that Towns did, and I'm not really saying much at first. In the interview, I'm kind of, hey, competitive. Next question, kind of getting out of it, and just trying to downplay it a little bit. Whether you're at fault or not. Joel doesn't. He definitely didn't feel like that either. I mean, his first comment is telling people who he's not, and or I guess what he's not, and then kind of dragging it. So I think I would have tried to just let it die out a little bit, take what the league gives you, and then just try to find a way to move on.
Now, of course, also last night we had another Battle of Houston, and that was the Washington Wizards and Houston Rockets, 159 to 158, Pat. I know it's super early in the season, but I already was all in. But this Wizards team is going to be fun this year. They're going to lose a lot of games. I think they're going to win a lot of games they shouldn't, but it's going to be fun just to watch the growth and maturity of this team. Clearly, the undisputed leader is Bradley Beal. I know you only got a small sample size, like 4 games. Early thoughts on the Wizards, and maybe some of your early thoughts on teams and players around the league as well. I mean, we're literally like 5 or 6 games into this thing. But the Wizards, obviously, and then the rest of the league, who has kind of caught your eye a little bit?
Yeah, I think starting with the game last night and going into the Wizards, I mean, I think I heard it was like the third highest scoring game in NBA history. So, I mean, you could just look at the score and tell it wasn't a lot of defense. It was a lot of shots were going up. It was a fast pace of scoring. So, the Wizards, for me, we understood that this year is going to be kind of tough, but, you can pull a lot of positives out of situations like this too. Your positives don't always have to come from wins. So when you know the spot and the situation that the Wizards are in, I think you can still take a lot of good out of the year. So Bill's going to get his. We know that.
Sure.
Thomas Bryant was a guy that I want to see develop. I want to see him take that. I always say, man, we were so lucky. We were lucky when LeBron went to the Lakers. The Wizards got a gift because the Lakers moved on from Bryant so early that we were able to pick him up. So after just playing a year, we're able to get this guy who's basically a rookie. This guy is still raw, and we're able to get a guy that we could put in the post that can grow. We get him on a deal. It's not a very, very high contract for a guy like that. I think we got a steal by making that move. Got Rui. I love the pick. I see a lot of people have warmed up to the pick. It's kind of weird after the night of the draft. A lot of Wizards fans are like, who is this guy?
You want to say it, Pat. I know it's early in the season, but you can say I told you so because you were steady and calm on draft night. Don't be humble, bro. You told us. You told us to watch.
Hey, I like them, man. I love college basketball, and that's tipping off on Tuesday. But I like what I've seen out the guy, and I also thought it was important to get a guy at that position. To get a wing, to get a forward, to get a young guy that plays the way he does, who's still learning as well. I thought it was a great pick, man. I did, and so far he hasn't disappointed me at all. It also gives Ted gets a 2-for-1 on Rui. Because Ted gets a guy that his franchise drafts who should have a nice career. And then it's also a business move too. You get him, the first Japanese player in the NBA drafted, was it first round draft pick or whatever he was, to get him over there. I mean, that's a business move as well. That's definitely going to help him out both ways. But yeah, I loved it, man. So you get Rui out there. You got Brad doing this thing. He's the leader. We're going to try to hold this thing down until we find out what's up with Wall. And then you got a lot of other young pieces. Like I said, Tommy Shepard. He made some moves. It might not have been the big